you can be heard.
Second, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, first and foremost, appreciate the platform. Um, the other thing is it doesn't really matter because that's the reason why us tribes stick to ourselves. You know, if what Mama don't know won't hurt her, and we 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 keep it amongst ourselves. We keep our tribal issues to ourselves. We um we are we are a nation of people that I really wish that the masses would understand this. And the best way that I can say it is have you ever heard of a race of people that's on the endangered species list?
I don't mean to laugh. That was uh
Then we guess that's you guys. You know why you're on the endangered species list? It's because this is a heliocentric planet and the sun doesn't agree with you. That's why.
like, I need a tiny violin for you right now. Like, come on, bro. You're supposed to come from some of the greatest warriors that ever graced this earth, some of the greatest civilizations to ever grace this plane, some of the greatest athletes to ever breathe oxygen. And you telling me y'all on the endangered species list?
Yeah, numbers. We're done. We're fucking done. Suicide, everything. We're done. Our culture is a thing of a history book.
So
Yeah.
how come? Okay, so let me say this then. So how come when
I
natives
understand
come
you want.
on
I no,
TikTok?
listen to me. I understand you want to fucking laugh, but you know
Blah,
what? Those
blah,
those
blah.
are my fucking people. Those are my people. You know what I'm saying?
I think.
Those are
Hold
my
on.
people.
This is my
The
opinion. This
reason,
is
the
my
reason, the
logical
reason.
opinion.
You know what?
Let
You know
me,
what? You know what? Let me tell you
don't
like
don't
this.
get
I was
emotional, bro. Just I'm not attacking
no,
you.
no,
Just know
no.
I'm not
It's not
attacking you.
emotional. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take.
I'm not attacking you, bro. I'm just saying, like, I'm about to tell you from one Aborigine to potentially
No,
another,
no,
right?
fuck y'all
From
for real.
one
On some real
from
shit.
listen, bro, from one oppressed person to another, right? The
No, no,
colonizer
no,
has
no. You got people fucking. Me and you
relax,
should
bro.
talk. Me,
Relax.
me and you should talk. I don't need all this extra
Okay, we talking
yabba
right
yabba
now. Listen,
and some
listen,
little
bro. We
fat boy
talking
talking
right
this
now.
shit.
Just relax.
Yeah.
We about to have a real heart to
Yes,
heart
I
moment,
just
bro.
got it.
Listen, from
No,
one
we ain't
oppressed
having no
person,
fucking heart to heart.
what, that will only
I'll send.
be
I
because
will
you're
send.
emotional
It's
right
okay.
now, brother. You gotta
Yeah, yeah,
relax.
yeah.
You
Go
gotta
go to
relax.
sleep. Go to sleep and make sure you don't see an owl. It's
You
on.
triggered. Oh, you try to put a root on me? Like, do you know who people you trying to put a root on, bro? Like, stop it, bro. It's not gonna work. Your little weak ass ancestors.
The funny thing
Listen,
is you think it's
listen.
called the
Nobody
root.
is
You think
afraid
it's called
of
the root.
some weak
You think it's
people
called
who
the
are
root.
on the
Yeah, right.
endangered species list,
I'm right.
and they weak spirits. Nobody's afraid of them, bro.
You do not know what the fuck you are talking about. You
Don't go to
are
sleep.
an
This nigga
idiot,
said, don't
and
go to
don't nobody
sleep
want to talk to you,
and don't
diabetic.
see an
Get the fuck
owl,
over here,
boy.
fat boy. Go
Hey,
take your
TikTok,
insulin. Go take your
TikTok,
insulin.
everything expressed in this live is for educational, entertainment, and research purposes only.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, boy. This boy here crazy. This boy. I mean, please, native indigenous community, please come for yourself approved, cause gang over here all emotional. Like he needs some milk. I can hear the tiny violin playing. So it was like, bro, did you really just try to put a root on me with your ancestors that you just explained to us that it's on the endangered species list, gang? Like y'all ain't winning. Y'all need to do something else. Y'all should have sneaked when y'all zagged. Like y'all can't, it ain't working, gang. Like how y'all go from building pyramids, having aqueducts, apartment buildings, genetically modifying corn 8,000 BC, shit like that. How you go from that to hunter gatherer nomads and teepees to the most endangered species with the highest missing and murdered rate amongst their communities, even with the lowest population, damn near in the world. Like it make sense, gang. Make it make sense. We got somebody here in the building. Oh, he and him left. Okay, him man. We got somebody new in the building. A6 AI. Is that how you say it?
No, 868.
Oh, 86. Man, I don't know how to read these
I
TikTok
see it.
names, man.
You
I
ain't
This-
see it.
reading it though, big dog. You saying what you see.
I see it now. I see it now.
What's up with it, gang?
Not much, chilling, man. Just had to drop in and get some knowledge from y'all and just listen a little bit and maybe put my input in if it needs. Get some
All
knowledge.
good.
Yeah.
All good.
Oh, you get another call. Then.
No, it's time to talk. Don't run, bro. Come back. Listen,
Yeah.
boy,
Nah, I just got in. I just got
hey,
in. What y'all was talking about, man?
can y'all put emojis in the chat? I don't know if emojis work. If y'all could put emojis in the chat, if y'all have a TV emoji, please put the TV and emoji in the chat. All my YouTube know who it is. They got the right one. Like, I promise you I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna kick you off. I'm not gonna yell and scream at you. I'm not about to do none of that. But I'm about to show you why you shouldn't come playing though. I promise you. You cannot like you're not gonna feel good after this interaction, but I'm gonna sleep like a baby. I promise. I'm going to sleep like a baby. Okay, we got spicy Pisces. What's up with it?
Hey, hey, how y'all doing?
Peace, sister. How you doing?
I'm good. I just want to say, since I've been watching TikTok, I was talking to my mom today, and I was telling her it's amazing how many people were told the same things I was told as a child. Um, if I turn my camera on and you saw my hair, you would ask me. People normally, when they see my color and they see my hair, they normally ask me, "What, what Indian are you mixed with?" I've never had anyone ask me what white person are you mixed with, I mean white tea person, or what race are you mixed with, other than what Indian are you? And I come from Mississippi. So to have these people to get up here talking about erasure, what about our erasure? What about the erasure of my ancestors?
Talk that talk.
That's what I'm
Because
trying to
that's what
figure
we
out.
really here to address, right? And they're a part of it. And that's why they trigger. That's what it really is, right? When we
Mm.
say what we say, we're automatically highlighting the caste system and the American Aboriginal erasure that they've been a part of and have been benefiting from. This is why they feel the need to come out and jump outside of themselves and say things like they do in the chat. You understand? Because when the truth comes out,
Right.
that they're going to be shown to be a part of the genocide, to be a part of the disenfranchisement. You understand? And they can't allow that to happen. So they got to die with the ship.
Right.
You know what's so funny about that whole concept of them making those comments? It's funny how they can't see they're wrong. Like we can identify that. Okay, we learned our history. We understand the whole. Whatever we have obtained full circle, right? How is it they're exempt from that same understanding? Would come in with their points like, yeah, this is what goes on and this and that. Like, how did you miss that though? Even if you do feel like you're right, like you still have to be able to see it the other side because we can. You know.
Yeah.
We can actually you can show your DNA. You can walk outside, pull out some tree bark, grab some dirt out the ground. You just go use the resources and match it up to your fingers, your skin, your hair, your toenails, So I mean, that's your DNA. It's in the ground. It's
Look,
all around.
y'all. Look at my hair.
Look at that. They come on now. There you go, right there.
Look.
Okay,
Let me
man.
take it down so y'all can see it.
We can see them
Let me
ways.
take it down so y'all can see it.
We
That's
can
how
see
my
Because
them.
mom got
everybody
hers
always
too.
asks me,
Hard, just
"What
like that.
Indian are you mixed with?"
Yeah.
Tell them you mix with Aboriginal and Aboriginal.
You
Two
see it?
times for Aboriginal.
And so people ask me, well, are you Cherokee? Are you Choctaw? Now, why wouldn't in the world would my people not ask me, am I what Caucasian race am I mixed with? Or why would they not say, well, what African race are you mixed with?
Well, that's also under the implication that
Crazy, right?
the Aboriginal people or the indigenous people of the Americas had straight hair, which is not the case. Okay, like we've been combing and hot combing and doing stuff with our hair for thousands of years now. Like it is not something that just started with Madam C.J. Walker, believe it or not. Okay, you understand? Like the hot comb has been in existence for a long time. Okay, so we all know that our hair has the ability to be in any compilation that is seen and found on this earth. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's stop playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know this. Like, we can make our hair anything we want it to be, but everybody else can't make their hair like ours. That's the difference. No, you got it.
Thank you for allowing me up on your panel. I'm gonna go back down and get back in the chat. Okay.
Peace, sister. Peace. Appreciate you.
Peace, peace, peace. Oh, you're gonna have to drop me. I can't see where to drop myself.
For him to make that comment about DNA, he must be an expert, because how could you read our DNA to say, okay, yeah, that's true? You know what I mean? Like, how do you read that DNA if you
But they don't
just,
know they talking to an expert. No. They
you
just think
know,
they talking to Ray Ray from down the road in front of the liquor store. They don't know they got talking to somebody with a background in bioinformatics from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So that's something different. Like they could run that by Ray Ray round the corner, but they cannot run that by somebody who's actually been in the lab with geneticists, that's actually worked with animals, that's actually been a part of helping cure diseases and stuff like that. See, at that point, they just can't say, do the DNA test. Because all I can do is just pull rank on them. Right? So after you do that, like what geneticists do we have out here that really want to have this conversation so I can intellectually spank them in front of everybody? And then we'll
now
see.
that'll be a more
Hell, y'all got a doctor
conversation.
in the chat.
Come
Hey,
on, Doc.
everybody in the chat, man, y'all go tag y'all DNA experts.
Paging Dr. Chief Egg Salad to the front office, please. We got
For
Tattoo
sure.
Trevor 89 in the building. What's up, gang?
What up, gang? You know, everybody say they're Aboriginal, but we ain't got no damn casinos.
We don't want none, gang. What the fuck?
Shit, yes,
Listen,
the hell we
listen.
do, gang.
We ain't
Yes,
never
the
had
hell we
Okay.
do.
casinos. We didn't
Okay,
even
so
gamble
let me
like
explain
that.
something to
The
you.
Indians do
I'm
have
about
some.
to give you the
Hey,
business. I'm about to give you the plan right now. If we
hold
want a
on, gang. Hold
casino,
on. Hold
if
on,
we
gang,
want a
before you jump down my
casino,
throat now. That, was- that was meant as a joke. But
nah,
during
I
the
know.
Westerns, most of the white settlers signed up for the Indigenous Act. They got all the land in the casinos, and we just got the culture. What's the use of being Aboriginal if we ain't got the funds to push the damn movement?
Well,
We got
see,
all this
even
knowledge. We got all these folks in the chat. Hold on. Knowledge is nothing without the power to push the movement, bro.
so let me explain this, right?
You can have
Even even with all the money that they make on casinos, right? You still know that the black community produces more money than the Native American communities, right?
That's because
and
they
we
in
spend it at
partnership
the
with the other
casinos when
side.
they
It's a difference.
okay.
Everybody got to
The
split their
black
cut. That's
community
just like
produce
having a whole piece of
we
something. You got to split it now, four
listen,
quarters.
we the black community. We the black community in my state. I stay in the South, fam. Alabama to be exact. We the black community in my state. Once they get to a certain age, this is a retirement state. They take their money to the casino. So
That's
make it
funny,
make
but
sense
that's
to me.
facts though.
Well, that's just a
So
lack of
if everybody in the tribe get a
Control.
portion out the money, I want a damn casino.
Okay, I'm about to
That
give
one
you
the
the
40
breakdown on how
acres
this
in there.
go, man. Let me explain how this work, right? Any family can do this, right?
Break it
Any
down.
family, any family can come
Okay,
together.
break it.
Any family can come together, right? Come up with a plan, a business plan, put funds together, right? Go to a financial institution and get approved to get a
Hey,
casino
gang,
that
gang,
generates
gang.
revenue.
You talking to a businessman? I do tattoos for a living, bro. I know how to get a business license and get a business grant approved. I ain't talking about that, fam. I'm talking about being, being and having proof that you are Aboriginal or indigenous to this land gives you rights and grants without having to go to a bank, without having to go to a courthouse. It's birth by rights. You got people born into having shares of to a casino, bro. That's what I'm saying. You got
Right.
people
But
born into
those are
having
companies
reserved
though,
land
still,
for their
bro.
family.
You say you're a businessman,
No,
right?
those are not companies. Those, yeah, I do tattoos. I own businesses, fam. So,
Okay,
like, listen,
okay. So let me ask
it's
you a
a
question.
difference than going
Do
in there
you
and trying to
know?
get a business motto approved from a bank for a loan because it's based off your business credit than
Right.
getting
So listen,
something already reserved for you
the
by
tribe is
birth.
a corporate entity, gang. It's a business. Okay. The tribe has the ability to go and do and create commerce as a business because it is one. You can go look it up. All these tribes are businesses and they have the opportunity to create businesses and utilize their breaks based off of whatever the federal government says to do commerce, right? It's just a corporation. So each corporation can create
I feel you.
subsidiary
Okay,
businesses to
let me say
generate
this. Let me
revenue.
say this again. You know,
I think he got
Hey,
kicked
don't
out.
even worry about them comments, man. They ain't even that.
Yeah, I don't even look at the comments like
the
that. You
Them
United
got
States
kicked
is
comments
a
out,
ain't
man.
it.
business, right? The United States is a business, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
This an open market business. That's why we do a lot of import and export for other countries, right?
According
So
to
I'm how
according
old?
to section 28, or no, it's 28 USC 3002 section 15 says that the United States is a federal corporation not
Exactly.
exceeding 10 square miles, and it's in DC. So
Okay,
Congress,
that's a
so
business.
the Smithsonian, they all work for the corporation because they're all in
That's a
DC.
business.
Yes.
but you know,
Okay,
a
did
business
this now
is a person. A
as a
corporation
business.
can be a person.
Yep.
I know that a corporation can be a person. All I'm trying to say is this, gang. Okay, during the time of the indigenous the indigenous during the westerns, if you will pay attention, we didn't know how to read and write. So at the time where the land when the land act was passed and they started dividing up the land over here on this continent, the blacks, the whatever you want to call yourself, the indigenous, the aboriginals, you didn't know to sign up for shit because we were probably still getting skint, bro. They weren't hanging us, they was skinning us. They were doing our method on us. So, so
So
like
I think that's
y'all looking at the business aspect of it, but it's
I I don't think that's accurate
y'all,
depiction of
y'all,
history for a lot of our people. I think that's a
how
Hollywood
many how,
depiction
okay,
I agree
of
with you on that
history.
too,
Exactly.
cause just to say we couldn't
okay,
read and all that,
agreeing with
that's kind
me,
of hard to believe, man.
uh,
Because we
okay,
ain't stupid.
reading, okay. If we knew how to read, think about this. Common sense ain't that hard to find. If we
Exactly.
knew how to
That's
read, they would have gave us more books in the Bible during slavery, bro. If we
That's
knew how to
another
read,
That's
mm-hmm.
we
another
would have seen the
old
sign with that.
Negro wives' tale, gang. I think they
Yeah.
all these tales they telling us about this, bro. I
Exactly.
bet you I can go back in history and show you every time period
Hey,
where it was black people
and I want to
Bro,
touch.
thriving.
I
bro,
want to
listen.
touch on some too.
You know how
Was
the algorithm you know how the internet works? You know how the algorithm, they can wipe the internet to make it search for, when you search for certain stuff, only certain stuff gonna pop up. Books
Right,
are revised, bro. Books
right.
are revised. They are revised and re-edited and put out and republished years after years. So you can't believe everything is accurate based on a book. What is truth today could be a lie tomorrow.
I
You get what I'm
agree.
saying?
I
So
think that
just because it's been printed doesn't mean it's right.
I agree 100%. I think that you have to use your intuition and your common sense along with the evidence to come up to a proper conclusion based off of the evidence. I don't
And
think you should ever take anything for face
oh,
value, right?
I want to say this though. Look, check now. Everybody making valid points though. But I'm gonna tap into this to say this. Now, as far as us not being able to read and all that, you got to think about it. Did we? If we never agreed to the whole process, you know what I'm saying? So, were we more interested in actually getting in to what was going on as far as reading books and knowledge and all this and building and tribal stuff? Like we did that naturally. Like we knew through the seasons and we knew through just like natural intuition. We know the sun is up and the sun is down. We know the harvest this time and harvest that time. It was never like a system thing where you had to read a book to like grow something. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always
bro, they
passed
wouldn't
down just through
listen. They
conversations
wouldn't
and
have.
family stuff and
I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but they won't have like little. They won't have little sayings like if you want to hide information from black people, put it in the book.
think about it.
Yeah,
We
That won't
spoke a
even
whole
be.
different language
They
though.
won't
We
even be.
never really the English language, bro. We gotta really tap into. We
Bro,
speak that, so
listen,
our
go
mind don't
back.
even drift to
Just
what another
listen.
language would
You
be like
you
at
on the
this
right
point.
track, but you're not. It's going over your head. When you talk about the English language, you gotta think about the English language. Then come over here until the English people came here.
That's
So
fact.
when they
no,
came here, they
you gotta
brought their
you gotta
religion in
understand
their
this, man.
language.
My whole point.
English English is not English is not
Listen,
white people's language or YT people's language, gang. A lot of those people was a part of
in Europe,
tribes in Europe, and they was not speaking no English, bro. A lot of them did
I
not have
I
no
understand
names
that they
like
were exiled
Will,
from Europe,
Johnson, like they
bro.
didn't have names. A lot of
I
these people
understand
who
that
you
part,
call are colonizers, they came over here without names, bro, as slaves. They
Billy
did not
Bob
come over
and
here
bro. They
buying
were
Bill and
slaves.
slaves.
come on,
They were slaves. They were
stop.
slaves escaping exile from Europe. So like they were slaves in Europe and they came over here to discover the new world. So
No,
all I'm
no,
saying
no, that's a
is
lie,
this.
bro. Listen. That's the lie they told us. They were slaves and they were sent
So you
over here
don't think the white people was
slaves.
indentured servants?
No, they were slaves,
You
bro.
don't know about the
Listen,
indentured.
listen. If you look up what an indentured servant is, bro, if you look up a servant, if you look up indentured and then look up a servant, right, it's going to tell you servant is synonymous with slave, bro. Slave is synonymous with the word Slav. Slav is an ethnic group of European people. Okay, you can't
Mhm.
get the word slave without the ethnic group of people of Slav. Slavs are not black people, bro. Slavs is an ethnic group of European people, gang. So the word itself, slave, comes from
Okay.
European people being enslaved,
Exactly.
not from us.
Okay.
It has
So
nothing to do with us.
European. So how it they took they word and put it on our circumstances.
They flipped the script on us,
Okay.
bro.
Let me say
Have
this.
you seen Eddie Murphy trading places?
All I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
It only makes sense
Hell
that way,
yeah.
man. If you really tapped in, it only
Hell
makes
yeah.
sense, bro.
They own
All that
boats and
you gotta
slaves.
look at it like it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like being on
Shit.
boats, came on planes, however we, you know what I'm saying? We
Listen,
spread.
fam.
You know what I
If
mean? It's
you do
only
the
a reverse to what's really going on. Just
I don't even
you
believe
have to
that no
just
more.
imagine total chaos at this point, bro. Like we got all the points of how and this and that. It's literally chaos. If they as crazy as they were back then, bro, you got to put everything into perspective. You
I
just
think
can't
it's
expect
all
not to
cap,
look to
bro.
your left and look to your right when it come to how. You know what I
I
mean? Like
think
it was
I
all of
think
it.
all the history that we done learned is cap, bro. I
you
think
know,
they told us that then we was the poor people who
all
got
that is cap.
snatched up,
Bro, all that is
and
cap.
I'm telling you, bro,
We can't even believe that if we
All
wanted
that
to,
was
man.
cap.
We
it's
can't believe
cap,
that if we
bro.
wanted to.
These people
All
was
that was
not
cap. Like when they
listen.
find
Ain't none of these weak people from around the world was enslaving no real warriors. No, they
Not a
wasn't. Like y'all, it's cap, bro. It's
They ain't
cap.
enslaved the warriors, bro. You know they ain't enslaved the
All right.
warriors, fam. But you
I'm
know,
about to
you got
dispel the
it's
myth right
just
now.
like today in
Did the
society.
European watch this? I'm gonna ask all of y'all a question, and I'm about to dispel this European myth. Watch this. Did the European was able to capture the indigenous people in America and Africa because they had guns, right?
Okay, let me answer first. I knew you was gonna say that. Now, I'm not gonna say that's 100% true, but I'm gonna say as far as war goes, they had that advantage.
Okay, so they had guns, right?
They had
Of
strategic.
course,
They.
of course.
So did that
They
make
I'm
had
gonna
was that
say I ain't gonna say the
they had
weapons
those they had
gave them
those
the leverage
powder
over us.
The muskets, man. They had the
they had
muskets.
muskets.
Yeah.
And by the time they would have reloaded them
I ain't
muskets
gonna
up,
say listen.
somebody would have shot an arrow at them. Come on now.
now? Listen,
Yes
now
and no
I ain't gonna
though.
say
No.
listen. So when they
strategically
came over here, so
they
you
had
saying
the
when they
advantage
was
of us with a
colonizing?
musket, with a flintlock musket.
Come on,
Not
bro.
just a
So
musket.
you
We making
telling
it sound so small. It was chaos. It was war. It was everything. You know, it wasn't just musket and hoping it. No, it was everything. It was
So you
everything.
hold on. So you believe that? So
Or
you believe that some people
bro,
off
like
a
you
boat?
gotta think about how we go to war.
Hold on. Let me get the mic real quick because I want to make sure this clear. So y'all believe that some people off a boat who didn't know where they was going, allegedly, right? They ran up on a nation of people who was already here, right? Who had been there for thousands of years, who built pyramids, who had advanced systems and civilizations on their own, right? They came up
Right.
on these people, and a boat full of people was able to colonize, or let's just say several boats. How many boats do y'all want to give it? Y'all want to give them 1,000 boats?
See
How
you.
many
I
boats do
kind of
you
One
think
need?
you
one
skipping the
boat.
line. You skipping
How
the
many
line.
boats?
You skipping the line. You skipping the
Okay.
line. You fact.
I
You
put
you
this in the
saying
chat,
facts,
bro.
but you skipping the line though.
I
Now,
put
when
What
this
you
I'm
in the
saying?
say
chat, bro.
they came over
Listen,
on boats, it wasn't
listen.
just that simple. All of these understandings of
You
how
said the
they got.
Europeans brought alcohol over here, right?
Man, they came with
You said the
Oh,
gifts
Europeans
and
brought alcohol
and
over, right?
came with this whole nice demeanor and interesting to learn something and all of those things. So just
Listen,
imagine we go through that same stuff every day. There's people be around you that's plotting on you. It's the same vibe. They can walk in the same door with you,
I'll
same
agree
room
with
with you.
you on that, bro. But
So
that's not the
we got to
same
look at it
story
from
as
that
they.
point of view. We just can't
That's not
single
the
it out
same
and just get
story
to the
as.
point. Like it's
Hold on, I
real.
agree with
Like I
you.
say,
I agree with you. That's
bro.
how they. That's how they came and conquered. But that's not the same story as they just showed up on the ship and just start slaughtering and sending
and just
everybody
as a
in there they
story,
want to.
it's
That's two
billions of
different
people in the
stories.
world. Only a percentage of
It's
those
easy.
people are gonna grasp that. Like everybody
You,
minds only catch what they catch.
you,
So you can get a million, 3 million people to agree on something and have a debate. You know what I mean about it, but we don't know what the facts is as far as how being 100%. So we have
Oh,
to
we
take the same
We
percentages of
actually
this,
do
understanding
because
everybody
that's
else
what books
taking.
are for. We actually do. If you read books, you would and know
And
exactly
that's
what
where we
happened.
that's where
this
we leave our fact. That's where we get our
books can be
facts from.
revised.
I mean, we can't really argue,
Books
any
can be,
other sayings and
I mean,
stories.
books
That's
can
all
be
crap.
revised, bro.
all we can do, all we
Same way
have to
same way
make
they,
hypotheses,
brainwash
test the
our history. They can
hypothesis.
revise the book to make.
Yeah, but we're not talking about these new revised books. I'm talking about old books from the 15
Yeah,
to
we go
1800s.
get the
You don't
books
Exactly.
think you
before
don't think they were
Reconstruction.
revising
Bro.
books back then, baby?
I
Yes.
mean,
What are you?
potentially,
You don't think they were revising books back?
No, no, they didn't have no
potentially.
reason
What
to
the
because
hell you talking
everybody
about?
was
That shit
racist
ain't
back
just
then.
now just started happening.
Right. So they didn't have
No,
no
they
reason to
wasn't.
revise the books
Listen,
because everybody was
okay.
racist. So they didn't have no reason to revise it. Everybody was
No,
on the
they
same
listen,
page. Y'all don't let
listen.
nobody
What
can
I got to
somebody talk.
say?
Everybody should
I
talk at
understand what
one
you're saying.
time. And you said
I
that they
understand what you're
barely
saying.
could
They didn't have no
read.
reason to.
And you said that they could barely could read. That's not true. Not only could a lot of them read and write, some of them spoke Spanish and
They
some of them
read
played
because they were taught how to read.
and some
They
of
know taught
them
how to read.
played an
These people spoke
instrument.
other languages. It was multiple language within our native countries or wherever we was placed at that time. People already knew
Okay,
most because if you was navigating
let me
through the
ask you a
tribes,
question. Then.
if you friends with the
Let me say
whoever
this.
tribe,
Then.
you knew
Okay,
their language because you was it just community. It's like how we're black and we're
bro,
we're
they
closest
don't even
ever
do
to
that
the
today,
Mexicans.
bro.
We know basic
Bro, they
Mexican
don't do that today, bro. When you go
language. It's the
around
same
somebody
thing.
else, you need damn near a translator. Do you
Totally.
speak Korean?
No,
No,
I
Do you
but
can't. I
speak
you
ain't
can
even
go
Korean?
been
stay in
around
Korea.
Koreans to even
Do
feel what
anyone
that's
y'all
like.
speak Mandarin or Chinese? Hold
If
on, hold
you
on,
go
Well,
hold
and
on, hold
stay
on.
in
You said
Asia for
you
long
hold
enough, you
on.
will pick it up.
I didn't
Eventually,
let
you will
y'all
pick it
talk
up.
now.
Yes.
So
If
would
you
you
go
be
stay in
intelligent
Asia,
Bro,
enough to
no,
pick up
you could be
Mandarin
in
or
China
Chinese
for a
if you
whole
was
damn
around them?
year. You probably learn how to say where's the noodles. That's God damn
if
it.
you in China for a
I
whole
I
year
know
and that's
people.
the only thing that you learn, that's your fault. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man. Listen, I know people done been in the Marines. I know people. I got veterans in my family who done
Well,
been
everybody not the
overseas for
same. That's
years.
your family because if I'm around something, I'm
Listen,
gonna
hey,
learn
hey,
it.
lady, hey, don't make this out about me. I'm just stating
Well,
my
you said
opinion.
your
Don't jump
family.
down my throat with that, lady. I ain't. Hey, listen, I'm basing my reality off what I done seen and what my learning experiences are. Don't
True.
get on my family now. Shit, what the hell wrong with you? I'm just basing people learn
hey,
from what they
I
see.
gotta flip the panel
So
around. I got some people in the back. I'm trying to get some opinions on the topic matter. I don't want to turn this into family matters and shit. Y'all got channels y'all can talk about y'all
yeah,
own
yeah, yeah.
personal issues like that.
That's for sure.
Mhm. But I do want to, like I said, I want to had get an opportunity for the conversation to take place. Like we need to do a cognitive dissonance check. But before we do that, we got 13,000 likes. That's too little of a like, man. I need some people to double tap the screen, gang. Y'all niggas tweaking in the back, tweaking. So, do we have any Native Americans in the building that want to come up and you know, talk about what's being presented? I ain't even really showing what's being presented. I just I just want to ask y'all what it's supposed to be a picture of, and a lot of y'all said African, so I just want to make sure that we having a cognitive dissonance check. Okay, let
See,
me
you know
see.
what? You know what I want to say about that, and I could be, ruffling some feathers. But as far you're asking for them to come up to answer, to get in the debate and really answer these questions, right? You know, what I done been hearing, anytime one of them get up, they only talk about where they come from. You know what I mean? They native tribe and that whole thing. They never really get into the whole weeds. Okay, that's your tribe, that's your ancestors, all that. But how much do you really know about their movements and their what they done been? You know what I mean? Like to really get that answer, like who can really go back
Facts.
that far, being in the ages they are now? Ain't too many of them gonna be old. That's talking. These are more from 30 to 40s, maybe, you know what I'm saying? And some young ones, they only can talk about their tribe or where they actually from and not the actual being more deep in
What they
depth.
see and what they experience.
Exactly.
But
So that's
what have
kind of
they
hard.
really
We need
gone
You
a
through?
know,
real,
most native people
wise scholar within that native tribe, like, and they barely even speak, about this type of thing,
English. Listen,
man.
bro, most native
I
people
mean, but
passed
that's
their knowledge down by telling it to somebody else. It was no rich. It it wasn't a lot of native tribes who had written knowledge. I live in
That's
Alabama. Where I
crazy,
live
bro.
at, they call it the
and that's the
Appalachian
truth, though. I
Hills.
believe in
This
that, cause like I say, they only talk
That's
about
a
where they actually
lie.
from, their
Wait a
heritage,
minute.
and as
Hold
far as
on,
they
gang.
great
Hold
grand.
on,
listen what
gang.
I'm
Y'all
saying,
trying to
bro.
tell me.
It's
Wait a minute.
I
Hold on.
live
Y'all
near a
trying to
native
tell me.
reserve, bro.
Wait a minute. Hold on, bro. Y'all trying to tell me people built pyramids and they ain't write nothing down?
Yeah, they did, but you got
They'll
to
wait
think
shit
about the
down.
generations
They
of how
did,
Hold
but
they
on.
it was
passed that
What?
destroyed.
on. Was How
Okay,
did
so
they
that's a
pass that
different
on?
thing, though. Wait,
It was
that's what I'm
destroyed.
saying, though. That's two different things, right? When you say a people did not write things down, that usually gives the inclination that they didn't have the ability to, right? Because most people who can write and
That's
do
not even
arithmetic
true, though. That's not
will, right?
true at all. You
So
can't take
why
that for
would
face value
I
at
ain't gonna
all.
say that.
The Cherokee came up with their
Okay,
own language and their own constitution. Y'all sleep.
That's what I'm
like
saying. You can't
how?
it's
just say that. You
it's a lot
can't.
of talk
They're
talking.
not ignorant, bro.
Listen,
Ain't nobody that
where
ignorant,
I
bro.
live at,
I ain't
where I
gonna
live at,
accept
it's
that.
over. Where I live at, it's a reserve with over 1,000 people living on it who claim to be Choctaw and
Okay,
Chickasaw. They tell I'm friends with a lot of them now. They
okay.
tell me stuff on a daily. They told me that their grandmama and them couldn't read or write. Their great grandparents couldn't read
And
or
what
write.
does that
So
tell
that
you
their
now?
knowledge and information about their tribe
But we
was
not
told to them
natives.
verbally.
We're not natives, sir. We're American Indians. We not them. Don't
I
Exactly.
compare us.
understand that, ma'am. You a
And
Negro
they're
too.
only holding a
You
state.
black
They
Negro.
holding a different state. They
I'm not
not.
black.
They're not. Mm-mm.
Man,
What's on your birth certificate? Exactly. Exactly.
man. Yeah.
Just because you couldn't wait, listen. Just because you couldn't read and write, reading and writing wasn't as much as a necessity back then as it is now, right?
It
Back
was more
then,
communication, like
right, back
verbal.
then, you had the ability to fend for yourself, create your own farm, sustain your family. Like you know what I'm saying. Only when you interacted outside with other like entities did you really need to have money or to know how to do. Like you understand what I'm saying.
Um,
But when you on your own farm,
um, excuse me.
On that list. Yep. Hmm.
Okay.
And what year was that you talking? Because that's the timeline you talking right now. 24. So that's grandma. So that still go
They
back
started that
18.
long before
You know
that.
what I'm saying? That's only a timeline
Yeah,
of
that
what
really
happened.
happened in
So
the
we can say
1860s. The
Yeah,
18
that's it
right.
started
Yeah,
way,
I
yeah,
was gonna
way
say
back
that.
before that.
Yeah.
It was
So
about
let's
the
just
it
say
was
that
about the
in the 1860s, we can say in the
it was about
1860s there was a. Go ahead, my bad, brother.
it was about 1850 exactly when they started that. That happened right after the time that they came over here and got the gold during the gold rush in California.
Now that makes more sense now. Now in that between 1860 into now, we had, families of our people that was literally couldn't read. We would say, just speaking
Now
on that, not
here's
the
the
ones
thing
that
about the
could
reading and
read.
writing.
We had bunch of
Here's the
those that was having bunch of children, and a lot of them wasn't even educated enough to be like to enter that bureau to say skip the $5 to actually enter that or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like it was
um
millions of, it had to be millions or hundreds of
in
thousands
you
of
had
every
to
in
be
our
you
every
people
had
that
to be
didn't
culture
even get
privy
that
to it,
chance to
bro.
even do so. And that's what make up the numbers of why we're missing out on all of these benefits now. Because
in
over
This is
every
time,
what
culture you're
grandma
gonna
had
have
listen,
22
people.
kids. That's a lot of children, bro.
listen. They do the
Multiply.
same thing that
In
they doing
every
right
culture you're
now.
gonna have people that can't read and write, but we invented all the languages.
Even if you can read and write, that don't matter, bro. Because right now in your city, there's some company, some courthouse that done posted some shit somewhere saying, "Hey, show up here. If not, we gonna sell this land off." If you ain't around and privy to that, that shit gonna get sold off. If you're not around or privy to the Bureau of Land Management being created, that shit gonna fucking. It has nothing to do with you. You see what I'm saying? So these people are creating institutions, right, to ultimately that will disenfranchise people, but these people aren't necessarily privy to these institutions and what is taking place at the time.
Yeah.
Are mulattoes.
Right.
I gotta fight with some people, man. I'm trying to get some new people in
I would like to
here.
say some things.
Go ahead.
I recently just had DNA analysis from CRI Genetics, and it was a very interesting test. That they came back with some things that test. That they came back with some things that brought some stuff to my attention that I'm starting to research that's making a whole lot of sense as far as evolution and migration is concerned. First off, they explained to me in this test the results that I was casted in. I was in Central America for thousands and thousands of years before um, Germany and Great Britain even existed. So
Thanks, Indigenous warrior.
Around, especially my blood type, has been here for over 87,000 years. This is what the company is saying. Now I'm not saying this. This is what the company is telling me, and they say that we travel. Well, my blood traveled this earth a whole number of times, basically on foot, and it's giving me a map of my migration and locations where I was at throughout a period of time, and it's taking me back 20 something generations, right here in the area of Asia and America. So
How much you pay for that?
the way it explained to me, the way I ended up becoming an Indian here on this land is because they was explaining, or the DNA test told me that I was a descendant of Genghis Khan. Now, I like,
Hey,
damn, this man is Asian. How can I be a descendant of an Asian man? So I look into it, and they don't really have a description of this Genghis Khan. And
how much
they
you pay
had black
for that?
Mongols out here that was running things in Asia and the Middle East for a period of time about 800 years ago. So it makes sense because they saying that from a time period from there that they found my in Peru, migrated around the world. I could see how coming from Asia, I could land in Peru. And from Peru, I somehow was a part of this group of people called the Macaroons, who fought off slavery during the 1800s. And I was in the Mississippi area. So basically, my blood has migrated all over Central, South, and North America, between the time periods of within the last 800 years and thousands of years before that, according to what they were saying on the CRI genetics test results. So
How
I've
much
been
you pay
looking
for
into
that,
this.
man?
So I mean, that tells a whole lot about
How
um,
much?
possible migration. And they say I came from Africa, but
Yeah.
35% of my blood is designated for Central America. Like
Yo,
basically, I must be a part of the Omex.
yo, how much you pay, gang?
$200.
You got took. You got
I
took,
mean,
gang.
hey, you gotta prove this stuff is wrong before you can say it's wrong. So that's my thing. I'm looking into it and seeing what the
All right.
results. I'm checking the results, and I'm trying to check and see if I could find some flaws in their results. And so far, I haven't found any flaws.
So you want me to point out some?
Point one out.
All right. First of all, the methodology in which they come to the actual results in which they present. Okay. Before I go into depth on how this works, did they tell you you were a certain percentage of this and a certain percentage of that? Like, is that the type of test you took?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I
Okay,
was.
so
It
you
didn't say
30%
percentage. It
African.
says where you was at, or where where your blood was located at. Because
Right.
basically, all those places that I went, it would say something like, I got a 0.30% of Asian, not even 1%. Like
Right.
my
So
blood, they say, goes all the way back to Adam and Eve. So I'm definitely an
okay.
Aboriginal.
So
Um,
people, first of all, Adam and Eve are biblical characters. Okay.
Well,
So
that's the name they gave them. The name
okay,
they
cool.
gave the person
I
that
got you.
the
Like
blood goes back to, that
we
they
talk
say
about
is
mitochondrial
that
Adam and
they claim
Adam
is the first
and
person. They gave the name Eve. The
right,
mitochondrial
mitochondrial.
DNA goes to this person.
I got you. I got you. So this is how it works, gang. Okay. So this is what they do when they go around to different indigenous populations, right? They try to find or go to what they believe is the oldest populations on the planet, right? They go there, they get their genetics, right? They get swabs from them, and then they enter them into the database as the reference population for that geographical region, right? So, for example, when they go to Asia, right, they go to indigenous tribes in Asia, they take their swab, and then they put that as the representation of Asian DNA, okay? Same for Africa, same for the Americas, etc., right? And then what they do is they release it for commercial usage, right? Which is like what you just did. Somebody send their swab in to have it compared to these reference populations that they have found around the planet. Now, there's two things that's wrong with this DNA as you're describing it. One, right? That DNA test that those results that you're giving, they're not actually telling you what percentage of a specific ethnic group that you are, right? They're telling you the percentage in which they're finding a single nucleotide polymorphism, which is congruent with one that is found in this geographical region, right? So they're saying that at the frequency of, let's just say 34%, right? Your uh, single nucleotide polymorphism is mostly connected with these people in this specific region, right? So what they've been able to get away with is basically eluding or acting as if it's telling you what region you're coming from, right? When really it's only telling you the frequency in which your DNA is connecting to these people in the individual region. Anybody who does DNA and genetics, they will affirm this. Any geneticist
Yeah,
will.
yeah. And guess what? And I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so but this is the thing. If you're saying there's nothing wrong with that, then you must take into consideration that the reference populations that they put into the database are not taking into account migration, right? And the original the reference population, there's no way to actually quantify whether these people are the original people of those land masses. Okay, so they're comparing you to modern people, not ancient people or who people who historically resided there. You understand what I'm saying? They're attaching you to people who currently live there, who could have got there 10 weeks ago, 10 years ago, 10,000 years ago. Do you understand what I'm
But
saying?
it still gives a good reference point to show some form of evidence that, because you're talking about thousands of years ago, it shows a form of evidence that you could have possibly been in this location at this time. And then when they start matching your DNA up to actual people that they found in that area, like they found the daughters of Aunt Genghis Khan. So they have the DNA. And when they match your DNA up to that person, now they can actually say factual that you were in that area. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying that
You,
right now they kind of
you just
winning.
said two things though, bro. You said two things, bro. You said they giving you probability and estimates, and then you telling me that they telling you factual. That's two
And you
different
no no
things.
no. I'm saying whatever they give you, now you got to take that and dig in deeper for yourself, like I'm doing, and find out if there's any truth to it, if there's any value to it, if it holds any weight, any substance, and it does, is what I'm
It
telling you.
what my overall statement and assessment of the whole DNA genetic system is it's based off of eugenics, and it still uses the same Darwinism, evolutionary eugenic sciences that is known to disenfranchise indigenous people around the earth. Right, it is a new form of eugenics. Sir. There's no way you can take your spit and tell you where you were 1,000 years ago. That is all hypothetical. All of that you just did, none of listen,
But
all
but
of
when
that
you
you
can
just
take
said,
but
listen,
when you
listen,
can take
listen, listen. You cannot
DNA
take that paperwork,
from mummies
listen,
and
bro.
match it up, that's a
Listen, bro.
different story.
Listen, bro. You cannot take that paperwork they gave you and get any admission to any tribe on the planet. You cannot take that DNA and take that into
Right.
any courtroom and prove anything.
The
It's
best
just
thing
Well,
for
on the
you to do
they
page,
is to
bro.
do
taking
your
DNA and locking
genealogy.
people up with it. They putting people in prison with it.
Listen, they are not taking, listen, bro, they are not locking people up with ancestry DNA. They're locking people up by comparing one sample to another sample.
You're
Okay. That is
wrong.
not, listen, that
You're
is not the
wrong.
same
The
thing. Okay.
feds are
Listen,
locking.
sir,
If your
sir,
DNA is on file
sir,
in ancestry and you
sir.
commit a crime, this is how they caught a man right here in California.
We
Okay, a
understand that. That's
man
one
got caught by
sample
his cousin
compared to
because
another
his
sample,
cousin's
sir.
blood was on file,
Listen,
and he
that's one.
yeah
Right. His DNA was in the system.
he got caught by his cousin. He wasn't even the one that had his
Got you.
Keyword,
DNA
his
checked.
Listen,
DNA though.
listen,
His
bro.
DNA was in
Listen,
the
bro.
system.
You're not listening, bro. That is one sample compared to another sample. Correct?
I say the science is pretty damn good for investigations.
What I'm saying is you're confusing the sciences. That's what I'm saying, okay? You're This is what ancestry DNA does. It takes the validity of the crime scene technology science, right? And basically tells you based off of that, they can tell you who you were 150,000 years ago. It's crap,
Well,
dog. Like it is.
that's too
That
far
is
back,
not
but
the same science, okay? What they're doing is statistical hypothetical science based off of the reference populations and the samples that they are getting from the actual people that are sending them in. That's all they're doing, bro. It's not any biological or any actual science that's taking place when you get in that little paper that say you are
well,
23% Native
it's
American.
awful funny because they pinpointed all my family members. Like
Oh,
for
they did.
example, people that's related to me, they get their
So
names.
hold
They
on.
get
So did they tell
they
you? So did
connecting
they
these
tell
people
you?
to me.
So they put all
Like
your.
people
So
I
hold
know,
on,
my family I
sir,
know. So it's like
sir,
it ain't like I
sir,
went and told
sir.
these people who I'm
I got a
related to.
question. I got a question. So did it tell you who your grandma was?
Yes it did. Yes,
Did
they
it tell
do. They
you?
know it. They got my
Hold
grandma
on.
name and everything. It's like this
Hold
person
on,
is
sir. Hold
likely
on, sir.
related to you. Woo,
Relax.
woo, woo, woo,
Hey,
woo.
hey,
And yeah,
relax, bro. Relax. We going somewhere.
yeah,
Just walk with me. Okay, so it told
yeah.
you who your grandma was. Did it tell you who her grandma was?
Yes, it did.
Okay, so how many grandmas did DNA ancestry tell you
Right
who they
now, that's
were?
as far back as they went. They done went back four generations on ancestry, and
Okay,
then
now
the CRI genetics is the ones that
listen,
told me
sir,
about
sir,
the Genghis
sir,
Khan thing.
sir. You paid $200 for somebody to tell you 4 generations back when your family members could have told you 4 generations back, sir.
No, no, no. That's one DNA test. That one cost 100. The other one cost
Okay.
200.
Well, whatever you paid, you got took because this is what the problem is, right? The culture of your people is supposed to be passed down orally. Once you go outside of your people to affirm who you are bound to lose your culture to a
I'm
certain
looking
extent.
for things that'll stand up in court. It ain't about going outside
You
my
cannot
people to
utilize
affirm who I
DNA.
am.
You
It's
cannot
about
utilize
it's about the
ancestral DNA
benefit
support,
of
bro.
being an indigenous person that was here before colonization and not having to be forced to follow their law and having land that they have to give us under the 2015
But you
law that was
utilizing
created under
their
the United
system, bro.
Nations.
You're utilizing their methods of science to tell them who you are. You don't see
I'm
an issue
trying to
with
go
that?
to court and get some land.
Okay, but do you think that it's a valid thing to utilize the same colonizers' technology to go
If
to
that's
the
what they're using in the
colonizers?
court, if they can accept it in the court, if the company gonna stand up in the court, then yeah, I would.
They're gonna laugh you out of court, bro. I'm trying to help you. Like they're gonna, if you go to court with an
Before I
ancestry
go to
DNA
court,
test,
I'm gonna have
they're gonna
everything
laugh you
together.
out
This
the
is
court.
just the beginning of my try my attempt to. I've been doing this for about a year now to
Oh, well,
establish
I've been doing
the
this for a
fact that
decade.
legally I
Take
am an
some advice, bro.
indigenous person to this land.
Listen, take some advice from somebody who's been doing this a decade, gang. Just DNA ain't it, gang. It's not it. I'm just telling you. It's not going to get you what you think you want. The only thing it's going to get you is to make you think you feel better about who you know you are, but you already knew who you are, most likely, because if you were a part of any type of culture, your ancestors passed down who you were. You didn't need to go
Yeah,
get a
he
DNA
just
test
he
for
just
that.
want to believe it too bad. He just want to believe it too bad.
Well, it ain't about the
He
belief; it's about the
he trying to
proof.
force it. He trying to force it.
It's about having the proof. That's what this is. It's all about genealogy. You gotta have some proof, and you gotta have some proof that I'm looking for the land that my family owned here in America that was taken from them. My family from all over America: Mississippi, Louisiana, Illinois, California, Arizona.
Leave them in there. Irma, lead the trolls in the chat, please. Lead the trolls in the chat. They good. There ain't no threat.
So my whole thing is, I'm searching through the records trying to find all my family history as far as when we got here, how we got here. I've been finding all type of stuff, and a lot of my family came here on their own accord from Great Britain. But it's like I'm searching not just mainly for my Pacific family to see what belongs to me. Not really like I'm looking for to enter some type of tribe or try to get in some type of Indian cult. Nah, no, I'm
So
not
that's
looking
how
for
you
none of
do it.
that.
Only way you can do it is through genealogy. You have to do
Nah,
genealogy, bro. That's the only way you're gonna get
Hey,
anything.
I got a question about his grandmas though. I could be wrong, but where did they get your grandma's DNA and your great grandma's DNA to tell you who they are?
they put somehow somebody put it on file. Somebody in my family.
They wasn't taking DNA back then, bro.
My grandma ain't been
I
dead
mean,
that long, man.
but all this
Brother,
stuff is pretty.
You
All
act
this
like
stuff
my
is pretty
grandma
simple.
been dead 100 years or something.
Look, I ain't
brother,
disrespecting your people, man. I'm just asking where did they get her DNA to tell you their name, other than they could have looked that shit up in
I'm
public records
saying
and told you who your grandma was.
somebody did the DNA. Somebody, whenever somebody gets on a thing and they put a person's name down as a relative, right?
that's
Uh-huh.
And that
ancestry.
person,
That's
Right, but
ancestry, bro.
happens to
right.
be, yeah,
That's by records. That's by
That's
public record
record,
right there.
bro.
yeah, that's by
You said they
public.
went back 4 generations. You said 4 generations. They wasn't taking people's DNA other for eugenics back then. That's it. So how they know?
I'm saying that's exactly what they told me.
The
Exactly.
human. Listen, listen.
That's what they
The
told you.
human,
Why you
the
just
Right,
believe
human.
what
right.
they told you?
They told us a lot of bullshit. Like everything we learned in school about history is bullshit. They told us a bunch of shit.
The Human
You know,
Genome Project just now of this year just finished allegedly
right,
mapping the whole human
right,
genome.
right.
And I just now got the test done, my newest test, which didn't say nothing about my recent
Yeah,
family or nothing like that.
Still got look,
you done had like 10 tests. You done had like 10 tests. It sound
Two
like it's
and
like
tests.
you still listen.
you want
You
to
done
believe
had
that too
10
bad.
tests, bruh. You
Lost,
done had
bro.
10 tests, and you still looking. That's a problem.
Right. Look,
Two tests.
he want to believe it too bad, man.
I'm looking, like I say,
Cause they sure
I'm
ain't
searching
digging
for
up
the
no
proof.
slaves and
right.
testing their
I'm searching for
DNA.
proof. I'm not going off of somebody's word. I
Yes,
know
you
what my family
is.
told
Yes,
me,
you is.
so I'm
Cause
not
they
going
not
off somebody's
digging up
word.
no
I'm looking
slaves
for
and testing
actual
their
proof.
DNA. They don't even know where your grandma at, your great grandpa at. They don't even know where they
So
buried
so
slaves.
here's what I did. Um, I done it by death records. I took 2 months off of work and I traveled, and I went to county buildings, from one relative to the next, like grandpa, grandma, and that's how I did mine. You can only go so far that way, but that DNA shit is some bullshit. It's some bullshit. They cashing in on people's emotions. It's all that shit is.
Facts.
They can't tell you where you was from unless they go. Do they got Genghis Khan's DNA? I'm just wondering. They
They
might.
got
I
his
don't know.
daughter's
Yeah.
DNA.
Okay, so but might as well be the same thing. It's about the same time.
Hold
How
on,
they
hold on,
got?
hold on, hold on, hold on. Stop, because his daughter's DNA is not passed down to him from father to daughter. Only way you can
No,
have his
only
daughter, his
mother,
DNA
only
is through his
mother,
son.
mother to daughter, the daughter to daughter, like that.
Nah,
Mhm.
But
Genghis Khan a man, bro. He can't pass down no
right,
damn. Like,
right.
he got to
And
pass
what they
down a
saying
line,
is
bro.
his daughters married this guy named um King Gorgoose, who
So
took
that means
over the
that's his
empire
bloodline. Then that's
after
not
Genghis
Genghis
Khan.
Khan bloodline. Listen, Genghis Khan bloodline can only be carried by his sons.
Uh huh. Yeah.
It's still his blood, man. It's still his family.
They still his
It's
family,
the
but
yeah,
as soon
his
as
daughters.
soon
They
as
mitochondrial
soon as
DNA.
another man comes into the family, it's his bloodline, gang. That's
Huh?
how it goes.
Yeah. He want to believe that too bad, bro. Ain't nobody gonna convince him. He want to believe it too bad. He gonna get another test done tonight.
Hey, hey, listen. I'm searching high and low. If you
Yeah,
ain't
but
searching
yeah, you
high and
just said
low,
you.
if you want to discredit something without giving it no type of thought, then I feel like you
Look,
not
I ain't gonna
really
look.
really
I ain't look.
still
I
out
ain't gonna
really
look.
searching.
I ain't gonna talk. I ain't gonna talk about nothing that I ain't gave no thought to.
We just gave you a
Nothing.
whole bunch to think about.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm still. You really haven't deterred me because everything you told me
Okay.
so far, I'm still investigating what they told me because what they told me is very interesting. It's very
Yeah. Interesting.
interesting,
Interesting ain't factual though.
and it
Interesting
doesn't
ain't
look like
factual though.
it's impossible. So I'm definitely still looking
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
You know, property didn't give grave sites. They didn't give property grave sites nowhere in American history.
Okay, and now they know all of this. So you think they gonna still keep pulling this same shit? I didn't even go with that company. I'm talking about CRI Genetics. They kind of knew.
Go. Hey. Hey. Go. Hey. Go. Hey. Go. 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 Hey. Go. Hmm.
It don't say that. It don't say for entertainment purposes only.
Look. Look. Go. Go see if y'all can find.
They
I ain't got a
claiming
link
all
to it,
type
but
of
go.
scientific.
Go.
They backing they shit up, man. They backing it
Listen. Go.
up.
Look.
You go
You
tell
can.
them they probably gonna say okay. They gonna probably say all right. Well, sue us and say that.
Right, right. So look, it was an interview out about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was one of the CEOs of one of those companies that do that bullshit. And he admitted it. I don't know if it was 23andMe. I think it was something else, but he admitted it. They asked him what percentage is accurate. This motherfucker said like 0.25 in the interview. He the CEO. 0.25. That's
Well,
all it is, man.
they claiming that they have more accuracy than that. They saying on the
But
test on
that's
when
what
they
they claiming. People claim shit all day long and be on some bullshit. Just because somebody said that, see, you connecting that with your emotions, man. You wanting that to be true. So what if I tell you right now, like, shit, I got 20 grand for you. You gonna believe
well
that shit because I told you?
actually how could I want that to be true? Because the whole time I've been believing that I'm a descendant of Israel, that I'm an
Hmm.
Israelite, that I'm a Jew. So I mean, how could I say that I want that to be true? Because what I want to be true is that everything I read in the Torah and the things and the stories that I read about the evolution of Christ and how things worked, I believed that I was one of God's people. So
Well, that's
why
because
would I
you read
want
because
to believe anything different than that?
it's like anything else. Everything you was taught in school. Go back and look at true evidence of that shit. We grew up on watching. They painting pictures of shit. You know what I mean? It ain't even real shit. They painting like we was reading cartoons in school, man. It was like
Man,
cartoons, and you
I
only
didn't
believe
grow
it
up
because
like that.
they beat that shit into your head.
I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up like that.
Right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, and that's what you do. You always go down to the bottom. Who started that shit and what interest they got? You can go read something about soybeans, right? You can find. You can hold up, right? Exactly. Just like they
And
doing with the
that's my
weed
whole
now.
point.
Yeah,
That's
they
why I
control
went to
everything.
this. That's why I went to this CRI Genetics because the way they saying things is they claiming that they the legit shit, and they
They
trying to hold up
claiming.
to their name because they
They
not
look.
trying to
They
go under the
look.
after the
They
embarrassment of all
they
the things that's been said before.
Right. They claiming because they on some bullshit like they done most of these natives that's on these reservations. Now look how light skinned them fools is. Go back and look at the pictures of old Native Americans like back in the fucking early 1800s. They don't even look the same. It is what it is. Like I ain't disrespecting nobody's shit, but they water down if they got any of it. That's what they tell you. That's what exactly, bro, and it's so clear too. It's so clear, but that's the that's the ignorant part of it. Like you sitting there looking at it. First off, I don't really deal with too many books. You know what I mean? I'm definitely you can get good information from Google, but most of it is some bullshit. But the truth about it is, it's all this what people call discernment. It's spirituality. If you in there like that, your ancestors they'll talk to you. You know what I mean? Them is all books written by you know who. All books. If you want anybody to believe something, especially black folks, put it in a book. Put it in a book. and they're gonna fall right for it because they want to believe something. People so empty, and it's all generational shit. Like all the abuse and all the lynchings, all that stuff became a part of people's DNA. You know what I mean? They want to believe. Yeah, they know what they're doing. That's that
the
eugenics. That's
generational trauma.
hell yeah, and it's a part of who you is.